Hi everyone, welcome to week 2 of the Stamitz Repertoire Guide Challenge. This week we'll be looking at new technique preparation exercises as well as reviewing the exercises from last week. We'll be practicing the technical passages of this piece at a faster tempo, and we'll be preparing the second section of the piece. Don't forget to check out the Repertoire Guide worksheet that accompanies each week's video. The link for the worksheet is in the description below. Our first area of practice are the technique preparation exercises. Our first technique preparation exercise for this week is a G major arpeggio. We'll practice it both tongued and slurred. Next, we'll practice the D major arpeggio, and I've included a spot where you can mark your tempo that you're practicing each of these arpeggios at. The next exercise is a chromatic technique exercise which focuses on chromatic lower neighbors. You can find patterns similar to this in measures 96 and 208. On the last page of this week's worksheet, you'll find a practice log. Here you can see each scale pattern and arpeggio exercise to practice each day of the week. Each day you'll practice one exercise from last week and then one new exercise. This should be about 15 minutes of your practice time each day. So on Monday, your technique preparation exercises will be the G major scale in scale pattern 1 and the G and D major arpeggios that we just added this week. Our next area of practice are the technical passages. These are the same passages that we worked on last week. However, now we're going to try and build tempo while not losing accuracy. You want to work on it the same way you did last week in terms of repetitions. You're going to spend 2 to 3 minutes on each passage each day. Be sure to use a timer and fill in each circle on the chart as you practice. These technical passages require a lot of patience and repetition. There are many different ways that you can practice them. Here are just a few. My favorite way to practice groups of 4 are with these practice rhythms. You basically take each group of 4 notes and divide it into these rhythms. Other options include working beat to beat, so playing 1E and a 2, 2E and a 3, 3E and a 4, 4E and a 1, and doing as many repetitions as you need of that. You can add fermatas to problem notes, or you can omit notes to focus on a specific fingering pattern. And finally, you can just practice really slowly with fast, clean, and somewhat accented movements in the fingers. Make sure that you're focusing on rhythmic and note accuracy as you're doing these different practice techniques. The last part of your daily practice schedule should be spent on learning the next section of the piece. The rhythms in this section can be difficult. Let's look at a few examples. In the pickups to measure 71, you have to show a clear difference between the eighth notes and the eighth note triplets. And 4 and triplet 2. The same issue comes up in the pickups to 72. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and triplet 2. Next, let's look at the dolce melody at measure 84. Here I recommend playing the grace notes delicately before the beat. Listen again. Next, let's take a look at the trills in measure 82 and 99. Here we're trilling from an E natural to an F sharp. So we're going to finger E natural and then trill the fourth finger. In most editions, you'll see 2 grace notes written before the trill. However, in this time period, it would have been customary to add an appoggiatura or an F sharp before starting the trill. On the right, you can see how you would actually play the grace notes and the trill. First, we're going to practice the grace notes leading up to the trill. Notice that I'm using the alternate F sharp fingering that we'll be using in the trill. As you work on learning this piece, I would encourage you to work on adding dynamics. Some editions will come with dynamics already printed in the part, but if you're playing from an text or a clean original copy, you might not have any dynamics printed. Some editions have an echo effect in measure 88, played forte, and then measure 90, played piano. Listening to recordings is a great way to learn how to incorporate dynamics within the style. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you'll like and subscribe to this channel. And until next week, happy practicing.